unpack this. We're diving into nitrous oxide, or N2O. A lot of people just know it as laughing gas, right?
Right.
But, well, our listeners sent in some sources suggesting there's way more to it, from dentist offices to whipped cream cans.
Exactly. It's surprisingly common. And our goal today is, well, to really get into the important details from those sources.
Yeah.
You know, its history, how it's used, the effects, which are really fast, and critically, the safety side of things, what it is, what it does, and why knowing this stuff actually matters.
So, yeah, beyond just laughing gas, what is N2O fundamentally?
Well, it's a colorless gas. That nickname, laughing gas, stuck because, well, it can make people laugh. People started using it for fun way back, like, late 1700s.
Wow, that long ago.
Yeah. And then dentists picked it up around the mid-1800s for sedation, pain relief, but it's also, interestingly, a food additive.
The whipped cream thing.
That's the one. It's a propellant. And kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, it's used in, like, race cars to boost engine power.
Okay, that range is pretty wild. Dentistry, dessert, drag racing.
It is, but that leads to a really important point, a safety alert, actually.
Right.
The N2O that's not meant for people, like the automotive grade stuff, you should never inhale that. It can have really dangerous contaminants.
Got it. So stick to the medical or food grade, if anything.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it's a dissociative anesthetic. What does that feel like?
Yeah, so dissociative means it kind of creates a separation between your mind and body. A feeling of floating, maybe. Perceptions get distorted. You might see or hear things that aren't their hallucinations.
And this happens fast, you said.
Incredibly fast. We're talking, you feel it within seconds, maybe up to 60 seconds max.
Okay.
Then it peaks really quickly, between like 1 and 5 minutes, and the main feeling wears off in that time frame too. Just a few minutes total.
So super short-lived effects.
The main effects are, yes, but here's a key thing. The drug itself is still active in your system for maybe up to 15 minutes.
Ah. Okay, yeah. So even if you feel normal again quickly, it's still kind of lingering. Important if someone thinks about, redosing or mixing things.
Exactly. That's crucial. And the effects themselves, well, physically, it's pain relief, analgesia, but also dizziness, sometimes nausea, headaches, maybe a buzzing feeling.
And emotionally, laughing gas.
Right. So euphoria, giddiness, a mood lift, definitely can happen. Psychologically, you get those sound distortions, sometimes hallucinations, very dreamlike states.
Are there longer-term things to worry about if someone uses it a lot?
Yeah, there are. It's rarer, but serious. Heavy, regular use can deplete your vitamin B12.
Okay, what does that do?
It causes numbness, tingling, especially in your fingers and toes, because it affects the fine nerve endings. If you don't treat it, which you can, with supplements or B12 shots, it could lead to long-term nerve damage. And another point from the source is there's been a link between exposure and lower fertility rates in women.
Right. Okay, so powerful effects, quick onset, some potential long-term issues. That brings us squarely to safety. How should it be used if someone chooses to?
The consistent advice is release the gas into a balloon first, then inhale from the balloon.
Never directly from the canister or whipper?
Never. There are two big reasons why the balloon is vital. First, the gas comes out freezing cold, like minus 40 Celsius.
Wow!
Yeah. Direct contact, that's frostbite risk for your nose, lips, throat, even your vocal cords. Second, it's under high pressure. Inhaling directly can actually rupture lung tissue. The balloon lets the gas warm up and brings the pressure down to normal.
Makes sense. So balloon is key. Any other basic safety tips?
Definitely. Sit or lie down when you use it. You can get dizzy. Take breaks between inhalations and make sure you're breathing plenty of fresh air. Don't just keep inhaling one after another.
Okay. What about mixing it with other things?
You need to be really careful there. Combining N2O with depressants, think alcohol, opioids, benzos, seriously increases the risk of just passing out, losing consciousness.
Right.
And with psychedelics, it can make the trip very intense very quickly, maybe overwhelmingly so. Could be challenging.
And some people should just avoid it altogether.
Absolutely. If you're pregnant, risk of miscarriage, or if you have certain health conditions like pulmonary hypertension, asthma, maybe a recent head injury, or any breathing problems, best to steer clear.
What about legal stuff, like roadside tests?
So N2O metabolizes really fast. It won't show up on typical roadside saliva tests or like standard workplace drug tests.
But driving is still a no-go, right?
Definitely. It's illegal to drive impaired by any drug. The advice is to wait at least 2 hours after your last use before even thinking about driving.
Good rule of thumb. And the little metal bulbs it comes in.
Recycle them. Don't just toss them. be responsible with disposal. You know, the sources really stress that knowing this stuff gives you the power to make safer choices. Harm reduction.
Okay, so pulling this all together, this deep dive really shows nitrous oxide is, well, it's much more complex than just laughing gas or something for
Yeah.
feelings. It's this potent substance, specific uses, super rapid effects, but also these really crucial safety points we've covered. Needs respect.
Absolutely. And what our listener shared really highlights how even familiar things can have hidden depths, risks we need to understand. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, with information everywhere now, what other everyday substances, things we interact with all the time, might we not fully grasp? What else is out there that we think we know but maybe don't?